Hey, hey now. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. And you're used to seeing us on Fridays, but we're here on Thursday because
Yes, it is Thursday.
because life happens.
Yes.
And sometimes we got to shift it up. So
Yeah.
this is probably a good thing. Shift up the
Yeah.
energy a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is good. We get to come on here and we get to talk and clear some things before the new moon tomorrow. So
Uh-huh.
it's um it's all good and it's exciting. It's exciting. Well, what do you think, Marissa? Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, why not? Um,
Okay, let's do that.
I'm happy to go. I am
Go.
Marissa, your embodiment coach. I am a free, courageous, authentic woman, and I help Black folks, specifically women, go from putting the needs, wants, and safety of others before their own to radically choosing themselves so that they too can live their most free, courageous, and joy filled lives. And I do that through the power of breath work, something that is our number one tool to regulate our nervous system, to calm our senses and our nervous system down, bring some balance, and restore ourselves. Right. I take us through a self awareness journey, and connecting to the root of why we perpetuate patterns in relationships and with ourselves. To come out anew and learn how to care for ourselves and nurture ourselves through whatever it is we may be facing out here in the world. So that is me.
Yes, yes, yes. And me, I'm Latoya, your spiritual inner power guide, coach, and practitioner.
Okay.
Truly helping women um, who still might be holding on to some energy, whether that's subconscious or consciously, and you're holding on to energy in your body from previous relationships or previous situations or previous trauma. I help you release that through EFT tapping or through Reiki or both, just
Hmm.
really clearing the any stagnant energy, any energy that's blocking or limiting you. Really clear that, really clear your path, clear your mind, clear your emotional state so that you can be free and empowered to take your next big step, whatever that is. And
Hmm.
so I'm so very honored and glad to be here with you and bringing this power with Marissa.
Yes, I love these. I love these sessions, these conversations, this show. And I'm really excited to talk about. I love what you called today's sesh conversation, unexpected things affecting your energy, because wow. Um, I Are we ready to jump in?
If you're ready, I didn't know if there was something
Okay.
that we want to let's just go.
Okay. So this I realize how in tune I am with the moon and with the planets and different things, like the different planetary movements, but I always seem to be surprised when things start to come up for me. I don't know what that's about, right? Last night I was tired because I got up early. I went to a perfume making class in the morning, which I really enjoyed. But it was earlier than I usually am out in the streets. So, and I spent the whole day doing stuff. So by the time 10 o'clock came around, I was tired. I'm falling asleep on the couch and I'm like, girl, go to bed. And as soon as I got to bed, download, download, download. I couldn't sleep. I turned the light on to write and then I turned it off. And then I turned it back on to write again. And then I recorded some audio messages and realizing that right now for me is a time of analyzing my relationships and how I show up in my relationships. And I've been talking about this for quite some time now, but it is like a big major theme in my life. Um, and so I think it is not, not I think, it is not a coincidence that I was woken up last night. We're coming into this new moon energy and knowing the seeds that I planted of wanting to be in more aligned relationships previously in this year. When things are not, if I'm not aligned, it's coming up for me. And not aligned means maybe I'm not being transparent enough. Maybe I'm not sharing what I'm feeling with people. Maybe I am perpetuating a pattern I have. I know for myself, I love to see the greatness in people. And when they don't see it in themselves, I'm like, you got to see this. I see it for you. And it's like,
Right.
we can't force people to step into their power. We can only either support them through the process, or we might need to leave them alone. Right.
Right.
And
Right. Or just
so,
invite, we can
yeah,
invite and
yeah,
hold the door open.
yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that a lot of that was coming up for me, where I sent like 3 different audio messages to people last night. Um
Wow.
yeah, because, and not to say, oh, I can't talk to you anymore. It's like this thing is happening and I'm feeling some resistance. Can you see me?
I can see you.
My laptop, it just went black. Interesting. I'm feeling some,
Very interesting.
yeah. Okay, okay. Let me take a slow down. Um, I'm feeling some resistance in this part of me.
Mm.
And I want to show up with you. And so I have to share this with you, kind of thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think this new moon in Taurus is really sharing some things with me. Um, and also learning how to uh, check myself quicker than I ever have. That's what's coming up. Yeah, check in with myself quicker than I ever have, instead of allowing things to go on and like, why is this not working? Why is this not feeling good? We we get the answers immediately now, and it's like, I don't want it. Ow, 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 ow. But it's okay. It's okay. I nurtured myself through it, and I'm really happy to be in this space right now, because the responses were came to me in love this morning. So
Mm.
I am grateful to be in this space.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's interesting that you said that, as I don't know a lot about the planetary movements, but I just came from my priestess circle, and the facilitator was talking about the same thing about um, aligned relationships and really not just wishing for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But stepping into it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Stepping into the desire for
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
um, which are two different spaces, right? It's good to wish and to want and to send that up into the vortex or pray for it or however that comes for you,
Mm-hmm.
but then to take the next step, right? To
Yes.
step into that new energy. And this new moon is an invitation.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting. I think I'm experiencing that in a slightly different way,
Okay.
but I am experiencing it. So in that I'm opening a new Facebook group,
Uh-huh.
right? And the new Facebook group is called Women's Elevated Tapping Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is really stepping into my gifting and what I bring to the world, right? I really do feel like when I do the tapping sessions, it is elevated because I do bring my energy. I do bring energy healing. I do bring Reiki. I just bring my mix. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I bring
Yeah.
my own special mix. You know what I mean? Like when you go to different places and you ask them for whatever drink, right? Whatever your, let's say, pina colada, right? They bring their own little, you
Mm-hmm.
know. You can go to
Mm-hmm.
a different place and be like, oh, this one over here. I'm aligned with this one over here, right? I'm aligned with this pina colada right here, right?
Yeah.
um. So anyway, the name is Women's Elevated Tapping Circle. Um. But the call for me for actually the past maybe 3 or 4 weeks is to close the current circle. And it's not that there's not hundreds, there's not thousands, hundreds of members in there, but I've spent, some time in there. And, but I have changed.
Mm.
The energy of the space has changed.
Yeah.
The frequency of who is coming in has changed.
Mm.
And so the challenge for me this month
Yeah.
in these eclipses that have been happening, right?
Mhm.
Um, is to is to step into clean energy.
Mm. Mm.
And the energy in Release That Ish Circle, the group, isn't clean anymore. It's
Mhm.
murky,
Mhm.
because of so many elevations and changes that have happened. Um, and so now it's time to rebuild, and that is a little scary for me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But there is, oof, there's so much fresh energy
Mhm.
in walking in cleaning the space.
Mm. Mhm.
And energetically, this can be your house, this can be your room, this can be your car, this can be your heart, this can be
Mm.
your crown, this can be definitely your womb, right? This can be all this right here,
Yeah.
right? Um, and this can be virtual spaces.
Yeah.
And this can be virtual spaces. And, to use your words, we get to
Mhm.
we get to decide to be in clean energy.
Okay. All right.
And
So the
relationships. Before you go,
and,
and relationships.
and
And relationships.
relationships, we get
Yeah.
to elevate, and I think a lot of times we think about starting over as in something is new, but what I'm hearing you say, or what I'm envisioning when you're speaking, is repotting. Like you've outgrown this pot. You get to have a fresh, shiny new pot that is bigger and more expansive so that you can grow even more into this space, right? It's not that
Right.
you're moving from one pot into another pot that's the same size. You're moving into a bigger pot so that you can expand, right?
So that you can expand and grow.
And grow.
Yes. And it's necessary because if you are in, because if you're listening to this, you definitely are. But if you are in the intention of growing and expanding,
Yeah.
it is inevitable. You cannot stay in the same pot.
Yeah.
You can't, or you will be stagnant.
Yes. You
And
will be stagnant. Yeah, go ahead.
here's what came up for me, Marissa, when you were talking, because I was like, woo, it's about to get.
I'm ready for it.
Here's what came up for me. Where we get hung up, especially as caring women,
Mhm.
is that we feel like when we say, it's time for me to repot, it's time for me to expand so that I can grow, we feel like that is inherently saying that there's something wrong with anyone else in that pot, right?
Yeah.
Or saying that I'm better than or I'm greater than. And I don't want to say that. And I don't want to give off that perception.
Mhm.
So that's where we get hung up at. That's where
Yeah.
we tend to get stuck.
Yeah. 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 And it has nothing to do with anybody
It
else.
has nothing to do with anyone else. Oh, it has nothing to do with anyone else.
No, not at all. And I
Not at
think
all.
there's a lot of different fears that I feel like can come up when we're moving into this new, more expansive space. There's a fear that we're leaving people behind or that they're going to judge us, right? But there's also this fear of this pot is bigger than what I am right now. And like I am I allowed to be here? And so that is the thing that I've been thinking about when it comes to when I say aligned relationships, aligned sisterhoods. What does that look like? And I journaled about this in the like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
Like, what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is it is being with other women who have this wealth consciousness that you did tapping on, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
understand abundance comes in many different forms. Who
Mm-hmm.
are who I tend to be like like the go-to or the lead in a lot of my friendships and relationships. And aligned sisterhoods for me means we can go to each other at a very similar balanced space, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that may mean there's women, not may, there's people and women specifically that are beyond where I'm at right now, and I can't be intimidated by that idea that they are beyond where I'm at, or am I, it beyond where I'm at spiritually, physically, financially, or whatever. I can't be intimidated by that. I need to be in the same spaces as they are. I need to connect with them also, right? One,
Yes.
because I have something that they need, but two, like that is where I get to grow to be at this level where they are, right? And it's just like putting yourself in a room full of people who are doing the things that you want to do. Yes, it's scary, but that's where you need to be in order to expand, because they have the information that you need to expand.
Exactly. They have the information, they have the momentum,
The
right?
momentum, yes, that,
They
yes.
have they yeah, the frequency,
Hmm.
which is a word that really is like really on my heart these past few weeks,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah,
are at the frequency. And
yeah.
it's really important. You know the story that I told about my daughter not wanting to be called queen
Hmm.
anymore, that part last year, because she had not seen brown queens,
Hmm.
right? And so that concept of modeling,
Hmm.
right? That concept of modeling, that concept of being able to see your vision, that concept of being around, or even being able to just witness,
Hmm.
right? That frequency that
Yeah,
you now identify yourself with.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's also, it's stepping into it, even if it's not you're around other people who are doing it. Maybe it's the mindset that you are there already. And so I
Yes.
started writing as if I am where I want to be right now, right?
Go
And
ahead.
it's
Go
not like
ahead.
I'm going to. Let me
Yes.
see. Let me see. It's not I am going to. It's I am
That's right.
X
Present
Y.
tense.
I am living in this space for this amount of time, or I am traveling to New York next week. Like, or I already got the ticket, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
already grounded and rooted in this space. Um,
Yes.
and speaking that way. And I think we affirmations are like, I feel like it's given cliche, but it is very important for
So powerful.
they are so powerful, and just thinking about what I listen to is one of the most important things. And I think during this new moon, it is not only about new beginnings or manifestation, but it's also about connecting with the things that make us feel good, the senses, right?
Mm, mm,
And for me, we talked about this previously, like igniting the different senses, and what does that look like? So for me, affirmation not only means me speaking something over my life or writing it out, but it's me hearing these things regularly, right? Mantra
mhm,
music, affirmation music, or just
mhm,
positive high frequency sounds, right?
mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm.
it is. So yeah, I went into last night. I was on one. I went into just writing out how to ignite some of our senses in different ways that we may not be thinking about them.
Okay.
So, like I just said, sound could be listening to mantras or saying mantras, affirmation music, bells, drums, singing bowls, instruments, or just humming, right? Hearing,
Yeah.
yelling, sighing, laughing, right?
Ooh.
All of those things. Go ahead.
Can can I just on that? I got so much. I remember when I was doing my master Reiki training, and
Man, I'm
my
going to tell you, I'm bringing you with me because I don't want to burn beans a second time while we're on here.
I love the realness. So, don't burn the beans. So, yeah, I had so I was doing my master Reiki practitioner training, and there, was someone on the table, and as the person was expressing and expressing, um, there came a point where there was a space that was closed, the chakra was closed, the energy space was closed, and then there came a point where she laughed, And when she laughed, the the energy center opened, right? Because and I typically use the pendulum to check the energy center, right? So the pendulum is there. And when she when she laughed, it completely changed direction, right? Like the energy center opened. So it's this, when people say like, whatever, woo woo or whatever, right? Like thus, I like to say, it's energy work that confirms the science, right?
Mhm.
So that confirmed the research that has come out that laughing is so very powerful, right? So I love
Yeah.
that you said that. Sighing, laughing, yawning, right? Like
Yeah.
clearing, letting the sound come out and change the energy around you.
Yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
that's so good. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
because again, unexpected things, I should have named it unexpected things that powerfully affect your energy,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I just, and I've started tapping into what other senses do I ignite and how can
Mhm.
I connect with them, right? So
Mhm.
things to see, connecting with nature, going for walks, um, identifying things around you that to help you become more present, right? When you're angry or
Yes.
upset or feeling something, like find three red things in the room, find two green
Mm.
in the room, right? To bring you back into I'm here. Like
Yeah.
whatever is going on up here, or I may be thinking about happened yesterday or about to happen, or what is happening right now. Like I am here. For me, it's I think this conversation came about when I talked about the things that I wear,
Mhm.
adorning myself with crystals or different like amulets and talismans and different things like that, or different colors.
Or
Wearing,
different colors.
yes, yellow or white and orange and green, like they all invoke these different types of energy for us, right? So
Okay, can I share something?
go ahead.
So, okay, so it was a couple years ago now, but I remember there was a time in my life, and I was like, I'm always working on fun. Let me just say that. I'm always working on fun, not taking myself too seriously and
Yeah,
having fun. Like
yeah,
that's a growing thing for me. My soul came here to learn fun.
yeah.
And so I remember thinking that day, I'm going to have more fun this weekend. I'm going to have more fun this weekend, right? And
Mhm,
I had on a yellow tank top. It was a little darker than this, but it was a yellow. And then
mhm,
I had it may have been these earrings. But and I got on this call. It was an adoption support call. As everybody knows, my middle son is adopted, and it was this
mhm,
adoption support call. And I get on the call, and we're all there, and the parents go, and one of the moms, she goes, "Oh, Latoya, you've got such a fun color on today," and it just was like confirmation for me,
mhm,
right? It
mhm,
was like my soul, my spirit was like, okay, you want
mhm.
to be in the energy of fun, right?
Yep.
It's like you said, let's adorn yourself with fun. And
Mhm.
what's crazy is she picked up on that,
Yeah,
right? Without me saying it, she said, "You have such a fun color on,"
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yellow is one of my favorite ones for confidence and
Mm.
like walking in who I am, because yellow is like look at me kind of color. Okay, so you get to step into what does that feel like to be
Mhm.
seen, right?
Mhm. To be seen.
And I really I enjoy that color. And the other
Are we
things.
we
Go
still
ahead.
on site?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I got one more thing to share because this what came up when you said, I was like, I got to share this because those who are listening out there, especially on replay, you're manifesting something, right? You got a goal. You are. Ooh, now my screen just went black. Listen, it's a lot of power in here. I didn't know, but I didn't know how powerful this session was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. We're in here.
we're in here. We're in here. Hey, Mimi. Um, okay, so when I was manifesting this move from California to Portugal, I
Hmm.
was listening to Denise Thomas Dunfield. I hope I didn't say that. Denise Dunfield Thomas, maybe that's her name, right? And she's a money, coach. And one of the things she said was like, have it visually around you. So now vision boards are like, that's a common thing, but you can have it visually around you in different things. And one of the ways was putting it as the home screen on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I had this picture of Lisbon on as a screen, the wallpaper on my phone, or the screensaver, whatever it is, right? I had this picture of Lisbon, and it was looking from up top and looking at all the rooftops, the red rooftops of Lisbon,
Mm-hmm.
and then the
Mm-hmm.
scene below. So one day after moving to Lisbon, my family and I were at the St. George Castle, and it overlooks all of Lisbon.
Mm.
And when I was out there and I was looking to I guess it was left side, I was looking and I go, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is the picture on my phone.
Yeah.
This is the picture.
Yeah.
And it was like I manifested this.
Yeah.
I manifested this. And part of it was activating the RAS, right? The reticular activating system in our brains,
Mm.
right? Which is visualization and writing. It activates the reticular activation system, which brings in your peripheral vision and helps you to filter out the things that are not in alignment with what you have intended to do, right?
Mm.
And then helps you to focus. The RAS is what helps you to see only BMWs on the road after you decided, I think I want one, right? And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're seeing the BMW. That's your RAS, right? So
Yeah.
having it on my screen, my RAS was like, we're going to filter out all the things that are not helping you to get to Lisbon, right? So
Yeah.
that's one of the ways that visualization or having it visually right in front of you, sight in front of you, is so very powerful. And I'm thinking about it right now, right? The fact that all the rooftops were red,
Mm-hmm.
and just having that power,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
power, that go get it, that,
Yeah.
we're about to make this happen, right? Like that energy on my
Yeah.
phone every day. Because I just had to share that. That might bless somebody today.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And it is like another confirmation for me because I've been talking about I want to do another vision board. And this is prime time, okay? During this new to do so. If you have been
Oh, you
putting it
getting
off,
hot off the press
yeah,
today.
yeah, prime time. Just go ahead and it doesn't take, I think we think about things taking too long or we don't have the materials. That's just a story that you are making up. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
You can go on
mm-hmm.
Canva, you can go on your phone and start bringing pictures together. And that's it. We don't need magazines. Okay. We don't need to do any of this extra stuff. Or if it's one thing one big thing, get a picture of it, put it on your phone.
Put
One
it on your phone.
affirmation. For me, I keep an affirmation on my phone that I read daily. Um, and so the last thing I had about sight was you mentioned fun. So
Mm.
sight, doing things that bring you joy, coloring, drawing, painting, puzzling, creating this vision board. Okay. Like just something to be present and something that you can visually see what it is that you either want to do or to bring you into the moment.
I love
Um,
it.
Another sense would be smell, right? And
Yes.
smell gets me every time. Incense burning, resins, candles, essential oils, body oils, perfumes, like anything that will ignite that sense of smell, the smell of food cooking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yes.
all of it just shifted your energy. Yesterday, I went to a perfume making class in the morning, and we all got to pick a base and then some other notes to put on top of it. And there's a couple. Fun fact for me: if you give me too many options, I'm like, this is a lot. I'm overwhelmed. But I picked a few that I liked, but there was one that every time I smelled it, I smiled. Every
Mm.
And I was like, girl, why are we even looking at anything else? Just bring this over here. Every time I smelled it, I smiled. And so I used that to make, the perfume that I ended up bringing home. When I put it on my skin, immediately lit up. My whole everything,
Mm.
joy, filled with joy.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, igniting that sense of smell, right? Go ahead.
So when you think of when I hear you talk about that, I remember reading something that was so very powerful for me, very powerful for me. So I don't remember who the author is. It's in another room. I don't remember who the author is, but there's a book called Sabbath.
Hmm.
No, it's in the other room. There's a book called Sabbath, and it kind of it's a capitulation of how different cultures might celebrate or come away for a day of rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about this tradition that some Jews do. And
Mm-hmm.
on Sabbath, what they would do is they would have this container and they would choose an herb, right? A spice rather. And
Mm.
then they would sit around in a circle, the family, and then they would pass around the spice
Mm.
on this day that on their day of rest, which is Saturday or Sabbath, and they would pass around this spice and everyone would smell the spice, right? So every week they would smell the spice. And
Mm.
the reasoning was that their family, particularly their children, when they grew up, if they were in the markets and they smelled this spice, they would immediately be connected back to family, to
Mm.
tradition, to day of rest, to all the things that that day they intend to mean for the child. So it was a positive trigger, right, that they were creating by passing around the spice. Man, when I read that, I was like, that is so powerful for me because you don't
Mm.
have to, right? It's not necessarily indoctrination or like beating things in your child. It was creating that positive nostalgia, right? That
Mm.
positive trigger with this powerful olfactory, right? And we can
Mhm.
do that with anything. We can smell a spice or a perfume in connection with our business or our dream or that dream house or whatever it is that we're manifesting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that. I wrote that
I
down
love it
because
too.
I think it's a beautiful way to connect in a group, but it is also a way that
Hmm.
I use in my breath work sessions, my private one-on-one sessions in person, of course.
Yeah.
I will bring different oils and
Hmm.
ask someone to pick an oil and we will connect with that scent first before we go into the breathing practice. Um, but I like to incorporate this. This is just giving me a way to incorporate it into like a group setting because I think that is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful too. It was so powerful for me that when I started doing my 6 month one-to-ones,
Hmm.
I would send them a bottle of, like something like this.
Hmm.
Or if they had their own, maybe they have their own, they could choose it. And then exactly like you said, they rub it and they smell it. And then, the intention is when they have such powerful sessions, whenever they smell that scent, they can go back and remember
Yeah.
that powerful session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. It is something that I do before I leave the house every day. Actually,
Mm.
conditioning oil that I'll put on my hands and put at my third eye and just do 3 deep breaths before I walk out the door. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
am her. I am powerful and I'm to, take on this world outside of my home. So
Yeah, yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We want to move on to touch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Feeling into like so many ways touch can work. And I think the way we can sexualize everything, my goodness. But being able to like touch yourself, it's yours, right? This is yours. The tapping that you teach, it's about touching yourself,
Yeah,
feeling into your seat when you're seated. Like what does
yes.
it feel like for
Ooh.
your back to touch the back of,
Mm-hmm.
or for your bottom to sink in a little bit more, right? um
Mm-hmm.
Self massage, getting a massage.
Yeah.
We like that
Mm-hmm.
too. Dancing, putting your hands and feet in the earth. Listen, it's all
I'm all about that.
and helping to affect like unexpected things that you can do to affect your energy. Yes, we understand massage feels like a luxury, but it really is important to move some energy around in the body. Putting your hands and feet in the earth.
Yeah.
how often do we take our shoes off when we go outside because we're worried about something, being out here? But it does something. It
It
helps us
absolutely does.
to connection with the earth, with ourselves, back in balance. Um, yeah.
Which is why I'm doing a woman's circle foot bath on the beach on June 4th. Now, I know this is virtual space, but if you happen to be in Portugal, you
Wow.
need to come on to Figueira. Come on to Figueira de Foz on June 4th. We're doing um, we're doing a Reiki foot bath on the beach, and it's going to begin with the foot burial. So burying your foot in the sand and really getting that reconnection to the earth
Hmm.
that that we haven't been getting because of the shoes, because of the type of flooring, because we go from car to building, building to car,
Yeah.
right? But also because sometimes even if we get it, we're unaware, right? Like we're not really taking the time to feel the connection, right? Like we were talking about this power of touch, right? That how it can change your energy. I love what you were saying, like actually feel your bottom in the chair. And I try to do that when I'm like, if we're at the park or at the beach, like actually feel what it feels like for my bottom to be on the earth, on the grass,
Yeah.
on the sand, on the, like, feel that. And I'll just
Yeah.
allow that connection to nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And that even goes into like when we're having these conversations. I start up here and like trying to talk, and then I'm like, just relax, get into it. We're here. But yeah, and it's being mindful about those things. Like
Just
I
being
now I
mindful.
see it, right? So I'm like, okay, girl, you could just chill out. And I think there's this way of being online, right? Where you get your face,
Mm.
everything is proper, you're seated, there's nothing else going on, and you sit in the camera and you talk to the people, right? And for me, that feels a little stiff. That feels like
Yeah.
not really being present with the space or with yourself. And
Mhm.
both
Mhm.
can, both can happen at the same time. You can be present in your body and be present to connect with other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the last one is taste.
Mhm.
So the sense of taste, just thinking about nutritious foods,
Mhm.
drinks, plant medicine in all forms, herbal teas,
Mhm.
tinctures,
Mhm.
smoking them if you want to, um, and how they can really react to your affecting your mood
Yeah.
and how you. So I've been really into, shout out to Empress Karen Rose. She has Sacred Vibes Apothecary. I think it's Sacred Vibes Apothecary. But she gives us different herbs for different transits or different times of the year, different seasons,
Mm.
things like that. And there's Pluto in Aquarius. She has like this different set of herbs that I was like, oh, I have all of those things at home except for one. So I went out and bought it. And it was Damiana, and Damiana is good for like your reproductive system, but it's also good. It's like an aphrodisiac and all
Mm.
these things. So I've been taking it with my smoothies and with my teas, and I've been in here like, oh, I am just feeling,
Nice.
and I enjoy that. It's like feeling back into my
Mhm.
body, like just feeling beautiful and sexy and just confident and comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
underestimate the power. Like tea is not just something you have when you're sick or when you're cold or what have you. It is all. It's plant medicine. It is medicine,
Yes. Yes.
and it definitely can
Yes.
help adjust or shift your energy and your mood. Yeah, that
Absolutely.
that's my soapbox.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's good. And I think sometimes we ooh, I think sometimes we get away from that and we block it and we limit it because we're so conscious about gaining weight or calories or this and that. And so as a society, I think we're so focused on limiting this taste bud, right? This power right here,
Yeah.
instead of really shifting the mindset of expanding it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not I can't. It's what else is out there?
Yeah.
Hey, what else is out there?
Yeah.
Hey, what else is out there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like really thinking about, if we're thinking about all of the things that we're taking in, the sights, the sounds, the vibrations, the things that we're putting on our skin that are sinking into our body. Well, it's also
Mm.
about the foods. So what foods make you feel good and what foods
Yes.
make you feel sluggish or not
Mm-hmm.
so good, right?
Right.
um I
Right.
think that is part of the energy shift too, just recognizing what is making me, like I said, that Damiana had me in here just feeling myself. And at first I was like, "Ooh, I'm really into it," and I was trying to figure out what it came from. But that is one of the herbs that I just reintroduced back into my diet. So it's just noticing how
Yeah.
it is changing the energy for the better for me.
For the better. And now that you've reconnected, now you can intentional, right? You can be intentional about when you want it and how you want it,
Yeah,
and really include that for you, for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Hmm.
I that is my spiel. I did pull a card before we came in here. I don't know if you did today.
You know what? This I felt you were going to, and I also felt there just needs to be one. So because I thought about it and I was like, nope, there just needs to be one, and she's gonna pull one. So let me put this ambient music on and go ahead. I'm ready.
Wow, really? So
Yeah.
yeah, I pulled the Fool card from my Modern Witch.
Don't be talking about me. No, I'm just kidding.
My
Go
Modern
ahead.
Witch, and she's her and her dog are just like on this cliff, just basking in the sun, living their lives or whatever. Even though this cliff looks a little scary, she's just like, I'm here. Um, so when I went to read about it, because I'm still new to this thing, it says the grand adventure begins. The fearless
Mm-hmm.
fool with her devil may care attitude is ready to take the first steps towards the unknown. Pure passion and optimism fuel her as she dances to her music, to joy itself. She doesn't know what lies beyond the cliff's edge, but she's left behind her life in the city. Goodbye to normalcy, to routine, to the structured life she'd had within society. She fully trusts her instincts to carry her beyond the ordinary. This is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, don't be afraid to take the leap of faith. Now is the time for you to start your journey because you're ready. Wow. Be spontaneous and let your wildness run free. Don't look back in fear. Look ahead and up to the sky and sun and let your instincts guide you. You got this.
Mm. You got this.
Wow.
You got this, y'all. You got this. You got this.
There needed to be one because it's the same message for us.
Yeah.
Thank.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm always amazed, but y'all got this. We
Mhm.
got this, y'all.
We got this.
Yeah.
We got this.
Wow.
Hmm. All right. Tell the people what you got going on.
Yes. I am Marissa. You can connect with me on my website, thepurplekittyny.com. I do one-on-one private sessions either here in New Orleans or that's my alarm, here in New Orleans or virtually. And you can book that on my website as well as one-on-one coaching sessions. And we will be coming up with some more group sessions. Oh, also, I have a YouTube channel. So if you want to learn some breath work on YouTube, I am your melanated woman who is teaching who decided to be the one to teach breath work specifically on YouTube. So you can check me out at Breathing with Marissa on YouTube.
Woo, woo, woo. And it is fantastic. It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Not too much time, 10 to 15 minutes, so you can go on with your day. But yes,
Hmm.
thank you.
Hmm. Yeah. Beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm Latoya, you know. Your spiritual inner power guide, practitioner, coach. I do one-to-ones where we will spend 90 minutes. First, we're going to check your energy body, and we're going to let your body tell me where the energy is stuck, where the energy needs to be moved or shifted or balanced. And then we get to release, we get to clear, um, we get to balance, and we just get to just cleanse and get you right so that you can move forward with where you want to move.
Yes.
I have a masterclass coming up. It's called Master Your Energy to Take the Next Big Step. And that is going to be, I think, on June 14th. Yes, June 14th.
Mm.
Master your energy to take your next big step. I did this masterclass last month. It was very well received. Um, it's it's not a whole bunch of teaching. It's not a lot of PowerPoint. It's I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you energy practices that you can take with you, that you can do every day, and that can change your life.
Mm.
And that can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking to be like, let me get some more energy tools, come on to the masterclass June 14th. You can get to it on my website tomorrow. I think it'll be up tomorrow. And I invite you in. I invite
Yes.
you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we'll see you here, not same time next week, Friday, next Friday, for making space again.
For making space.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah,
Thank you for spending your time and your energy and
play.
share the goodness
Yes.
and see you next week.
Later.